Hey everybody, Story 189 here. I'm reviewing the Terrifics number 2. So I actually like this issue a lot better than number 1. If you guys remember my review for number 1, I uh, I was really excited for this series, but I thought the first issue was a little off-putting just with all the jogging and the setup, and I didn't really. And now that I've kind of thought about it some more, I didn't really like the setting either. Like I didn't really like the idea that they're in this dark matter universe, fighting monsters like weird alien monsters. I kind of wanted more of a traditional superhero story, where they go out and fight supervillains and are on Earth and stuff. But this issue kind of helps out more with that because they are in the multi-matter universe or whatever for a little while, but they do get back to humanity, and it does. By the time the issue ends, it is setting up what should be a pretty cool dynamic. Um, I I like what they did with this issue. I like how they were doing the kind of banter between Plastic Man and Metamorpho. It was very, very similar to Human Torch and the Things bickering they do all most of the time in the Fantastic Four. Um, it was also kind of interesting to see. It was just kind of cool to see the personalities coming out more. Mr. Terrific is the dead serious, tech guy. He doesn't really he has a hard time putting up with Plastic Man, especially Plastic Man and Metamorpho's bickering, but he puts up with it because they're both very good at what they do. And then you got Phantom Girl, who's actually younger than I thought she was gonna be. I thought she was gonna be more of her like older teenager self, but you find out that she got dropped off in the multi place or whatever in this timeline whenever she was younger, like a little kid, and she grew up on that alien planet. So she is a little disconnected, a little weird, awkward, but also still a kid at heart. So it's kind of fun to see her dynamic. Her thinking everything's all cutesy and everything, and her and Plasma have some funny moments. Just back and forth. Overall, I really enjoyed the character dynamics. Is what I'm trying to say. The art is still amazing, like as always. It's just really, really good art. Very detailed in a lot of scenes. This Tom Strong storyline going on. Nobody really knows who he is, and there's this really cool sequence where they have to escape the place they're on. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but in the first issue, they were on a corpse of a giant like space monster thing, and now the space monster thing wakes up in this issue, and they have to kind of fight it and escape it. It's a really cool sequence, really, really, really cool. And so when they get back to Earth, you start realizing there's some kind of after effects from being in the whatever it's called, the dark matter universe. I don't know exactly what it's called, but for one thing, we discovered that Phantom Girl has been in the dark universe so long that she's her body chemistry has kind of changed, because she was in her ghost form the entire time that she was there. She couldn't turn back to solid form, but now that she's back on Earth, when she turns into solid form, everything she touches gets destroyed. Like it blows up. Like she just like projects energy into it till it gets destroyed, which is kind of interesting. And I'm kind of interested to see where they're gonna go with that, because Mr. Terrific's gonna be trying to work on a cure, but I'm sure he's not gonna find it soon. So I'm thinking that they'll probably weaponize her that way. Like she'll be able to they'll be able to. It seems like they'll be able to do some cool gimmicks with her being able to go through things and then turn solid and blow something up or whatever. It seems like a kind of cool power set actually. And also, we learned at the very end that they seem to all be connected by some kind of weird energy that like pulls them together and hurts them physically whenever any of them trying to move too far away from the others, which happens at the end because Mr. Terrific basically is he's not really a team player. You get the idea he's not a team player in this issue, at least not with this team. So he definitely tries to leave and like go do his own thing, but then he's in his little ship. But then he starts getting pulled back to them, and it crashes his ship. And then at the end, he realizes that they're somehow bound together, which I actually think that's a cool concept. I think that's a really cool concept that this, because I was wondering how they were gonna do. This is supposed to be like a Fantastic Four kind of style book. It's supposed to have like the writer has even said that he's inspired by the Fantastic Four. He loved that series as a kid, so I was wondering like how they were gonna really make that kind of dynamic, that family dynamic. And I see what they're doing here. They're not really a family by nature. They're going to be a family by necessarily. Like they are going to have to be stuck together like in the same proximity for probably the whole series or probably a while, and that's going to force them to kind of build bonds and have to work together. And I kind of like that idea. I think it's kind of cool. The family that doesn't want to be a family, or the group team doesn't want to be a team. I've always liked that idea. I think it's interesting. I think it makes for good, entertaining stories. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this issue a lot more than the first issue. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it about a 8 or 7. Probably a 7. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna be doing quite a few more of these reviews this week. I picked up quite a few new books, so we'll be checking them out as the week goes on. Thank you guys for watching.